Dear leaders, executives, and entrepreneurs, I'm Coach Max, and this message is specifically for you. Here's a cool story that happened to me last week. I was chatting with a man from London, UK. He's a coach, and he works mainly with you guys. Although the magic in our conversation happened when we were exchanging on the type of coaching that we're rendering, that we're offering. And he explained to me that he's more into executive coaching and performance coaching. In that case, well, as you may guess, he tends to work with people that go to him for success reasons, for being the best at what they do, uh, being the best in their own craft, in their own industry, to grow their business, to grow their team, to grow, mainly about growth and success, right? And he said to me, and how about you? And I said, well, you know what? It's funny because I work with the same individuals as you do, except that I tend to catch them on the other side of this, the next level. And this one has to do with what's happening inside. At one point in one hero's journey, there's this realization that it's no longer about the fame and the titles and the money and the growth and the number of acquisitions that you can do. It still has its place. It's part of the legacy, perhaps, or even some, part of one's ego to be proud of what they're accomplishing. And I respect that. That has its place. It's all good. But one gets to realize that they're not going to take anything of that with them when they go. It's not going to last forever. And if that's not the case, they oftentimes realize that it's an inner job. How can I lead others if I don't lead myself first? And then we start a real journey, a journey where you get to go inside and work with what's not okay, so that at the end of the day, once we heal and transform what needs to be transformed, all facets of our life are fulfilled. We find peace, we find love, we find freedom, and we find success, a different type of success. Inevitably, this type of success and this type of inner work is leading such individuals to the outside success that we were previously talking about. Sometimes we have it vice versa. And it's not unusual. We are typically preconditioned to go after all of the external stuff, like I mentioned, right? The titles, the roles, the money, the success, the growth, etc. And at one point, we try that for a little bit, and we realize that, hey, I've reached that top, I've reached that mountaintop, and it seems like there's another peak that is calling me. And then we go into the trenches and the valleys, and we embark on a new journey, the journey of the soul. And that's the biggest one. That's the one that will have long-lasting effect on our lives. I talk from experience because I've gone through that valley myself, and I'm also coming from a very successful business family. And I encounter in my life, until this day, highly successful individuals in the business that sometimes haven't realized that yet, but also sometimes did. And we all agree that that's the major shift that occurred in their own self-growth, heroic journey, call it whatever you want. So why am I saying all this? Well, to go back to my beautiful coach that I had a conversation with, that's the conclusion that we reached together. He said, it's funny that you say this because I realized that for myself. And inevitably, in the process of working with them, we get to this point where we have to address what you're talking about in our work. because it's the foundation on which what they think they're coming in for will get resolved or better off or better up. So if you're following, and I'm trying to summarize this, I'm calling you out on an invitation here, on an invitation and on maybe a perspective shift, where I tell you, leaders, executives, entrepreneurs, it's not all about the dollars and the growth and the success and the possessions and whatnot. That has its place. Good for you. Good for those that are within your business. And I'll tell you this. I remember one mentor of mine had said, one of the things I'm proud of is that with the outside success that I accumulate with my business, I get to employ people. I get to give them a paycheck. I get to feed the mouths of their families. That was a point of honor for him. Well, already in such individual, there's a change in perspective and meaning and purpose in what he's doing or she's doing. And I would encourage you to put that in the back of your mind. And once you come to those conclusions for yourself and that you're ready to go inside and do the inner work that will free you from you, which is you are often your worst own enemy, all facets of your business will improve. Relationship, at work, at home, with customers, with suppliers, how you will deal with friction at work or, employees that are unsatisfied. All of the inner stuff that would typically come up when you face obstacles or challenges will be dealt with differently once you deal with whatever's inside and you do the inner work. And from there, there's two kinds of success that will happen. And I'm happy for you because that's the whole game that we're playing. I'll stop here, stop there, and I'll invite you to put that in your quiver. Think about it. And if you're so willing to explore that route, be courageous enough to reach out. Let's have a conversation and see if I can support you in any way. And if you think that would resonate with some of your friends, well, I'll invite you to share it. And I'll be equally open to chat with them. On that note, now I'm wishing you success in all ways possible. We can all live a meaningful, purposeful, abundant, and fulfilling life. And it starts from the inside. Until then, cheers. Bye. Thank you.